My name is Jamie Marchi, and I was involved in Devil as a part-timer as the lead writer for the series. For those who have seen it, they know that there is a foreign language. So basically, these characters come from a different world, and in that world, they speak a completely different language. The Japanese created their own language, and of course, there was no translation for that language. There was a translation for what it meant, but not necessarily this is how we say these words. So for me, I thought, and was directed to make my own language for these characters to speak. So the challenge was making it sound like it was a real language, making it easy enough for the director to know what it should have sounded like, and the actors to be able to make those words and sounds.
Rotriu. Jukrop Yulgamub Zekarak Sloss, Rivi Klom! Roll? Osri Ronolu! Vexta Samut Brahms!
It sounds kind of Eastern European, I think, and it's kind of funny. Josh Greeley, who plays the lead in the show, the Devil, he is the voice of Lithuania in Hitalia. So when I hear it, I hear Lithuania. It kind of just took that natural kind of Eastern European thing, and it sounded that way to me as well. So it was kind of neat that his accent picked it up. When I was creating the language, it had to be pretty generic so that whoever took it could run away with it. But I did always hear it as kind of an Eastern European thing, I don't know, devil, and it makes me think of Dracula, and I don't know why, but that's just kind of the way that it sounded. And I think there were a lot of Z's and hard consonants in the Japanese, and I wanted to keep that feel as well.
Time Samuns! Ente Isla se tuprams Rupos Bix! Ente Isla
So I had this whole how to translate thing that I made for myself and for Christopher Bevins, because I knew in the booth, if he had to make changes to lines for fit, he would need to know how to create this language. So I did that, and then I did a cheat sheet of regular words that are used pretty commonly. And the demon is Zomech, what is Raw, how is Bomb.
Oh, looks like we got a couple of foreigners.
Well, that should make this a good story. Do you understand the words I'm saying right now?
What I did was I took the word, whatever the word was. So, for example, world is Rob, W-R-O-B. I took the word world and I switch it. So, because someone had said it would be really, the best way to do it would be to reverse it, because it's, every time you listen to Beatles backwards, it's the devil or whatever. So I thought that was funny, but it was shot down because it was way too easy. So I kept that intent there. So I reversed the word, and then I changed the first and last consonants. So this does several things. One, it makes it sound like a completely different language. And then the other thing, though, is the vowels stay the same. So, world and Rob are going to have that same O sound. So all of the words have the same vowel sound, and they knew how to pronounce that vowel. So that was the other thing that it did. And then it communicates how to say the word, and then you just substitute the first and the last consonant sounds, drop a silent E. There was a lot of figuring stuff out as I went along. But so for world, RLD, it ends in O, RLD, so that consonant sound is rolled. So that sound changes to a WR once you reverse it, and a W changes to B. So that gives you a rob sound, or rob sound.
Would you mind joining us in the car? You're not in trouble, so...
bom techu, okras usurpa daure iquak zamum, box to length show revsi to tears. Ait goose!
Okay, you two. Behave yourselves.
You know, we don't have a lot of time when we're writing these shows. So really, I just came up with a concept. I had done another concept that just wasn't working. And I think it was because of the combined consonants, you know, that create totally different sounds. And so that wasn't working. And I had to kind of play around with it and what my substitutions were. For example, you know, if you have consonants that NG, you know, something walking, NG, we don't have any words that start with NG. So I had to change it to something that maybe was just the start of a word and switch it that way. And I tried to be consistent. So if it ended in this, it was probably gonna, those switches would be the same, if that makes sense at all. A lot of it was figuring it out as I went along again. But I just jumped in there. Once I figured this would work, I just started doing it. And if I found there was a rule or something that it didn't quite follow, I just adjusted it as I went along.
This is Katsudon, okay?
Katsudon.
That was the point of why I did it the way that I did it, so that it would be self-explanatory how they were pronounced, how the words were pronounced. So, you know, I mean, everybody knows how to pronounce the consonants. Those didn't change. There were no silent. It was very phonetic, the way that it was written out. And even if, you know, like if we had a CK situation, well, you can't start a word in CK. So, you know, I just change it to K or something like that so that I phonetically wrote out the word so they know how it sounded. So I tried to be very, very clear in the dialogue itself. And then I'd also write the translation of what they were saying so that the actor would know in the script, okay, here's my foreign language, but this is actually what I'm saying. And I would try to emphasize, like show the word to emphasize to make it a little easier for the actor. Because I know, you know, they don't have time to look at it before they went in. When they get in, it's like, this is the thing, practice it a few times and then have at it. So I also knew if I was practicing this line and I couldn't get it out, then I needed to find another way to say something. Because it's not, if I can't say it, there's no way. and me being immersed in the language, there was no way that an actor could easily pick that up in the booth.
Huptitim, Gris Satan, iha char bupta clarit brabrose taif.
He chef sminton pim or zaif rov siroa fix length horfa zamum. Ik nerepia rob cello earth.
As a writer, my experience as a voice actor is key. You know, that helps me to know in the booth what happens, what phrases sound awkward. And I hate doing specific, you know, I hate doing charging yells. So generally in my note, like when I put that in the script, it'll say open mouth, stupid charging yell, because why not? So as a voice actor with writing, not only am I better at sensing the time, you know, we fill our flaps pretty full. Like, it's not going to be one word per flap because then everybody's talking like this. And that is not a natural flow. So, you know, I want to write for the actor. I want the actor to be able to speak in a normal pace, in a normal cadence. Girls are going to talk faster than guys. They always get more words. And so those are the kinds of things that I take into consideration as an actor. And I directed for a year too, so I can also know, you know, if there's an actor who's older, male or female, they're not going to be able to speak as quickly as like a 17-year-old. So these are the things that you take into consideration. So when you're creating a language, you know the pace is going to be different. You're not going to sound like you're speaking Spanish like that when you're just looking at, you know, reading Spanish words that you don't know. So I knew, let's pre-write it based on the translation. Like, what do we want them to say? And then take a step back, translate it into this foreign language, and then cut back where we can on the words to make the flow easy and make it easier for the actor and the director, because you don't want to, you know, if it's easier for the actor, it's easier for the director, and then he can direct intent in this language that nobody has ever spoken before.
Iptitu, searching, need house.
Sure, what sort of home did you have in mind, sir?
Ah, Chusterbroop!
Halsouch, ixiore falciel. As ektik vange soishi sikwa fi gritos tose. Gritos pap. Fab, okay, bro. I am finally getting the grooving.
I was definitely on my own. The only people that I really explained it to was John Bergmeyer. He's the main head writer of everyone. So I just had to okay what I was doing through him. And then Christopher Bevins, the director, I definitely explained it to him and communicated. And he was really nice. Whenever I was up here, he'd call me in so I could hear what the language was sounding like when people were speaking to each other and everything. And it was really cool. I've never done anything like that before, so it was kind of neat to know. I could totally make up another language.
You'd be renting room 201 here.
Vem to sit? Spuk zobhut?
Hebrushu kuftangri famasut.
I would say that the devil and Ashia speak this language the most, especially in the first episode. It's pretty exclusively them speaking this language. Back and forth and on more so than the other characters. And I think they also had to relate to each other more than other characters in this other language. So talk about a challenge for the actor. Here, say this. It's going to sound like gibberish, but this is what it means. And don't forget to remember there's another actor.
Wish we had a little more protein this time.
You eat hamburgers on an almost daily basis, sire. You get plenty.
I think they nailed it. I think they nailed the vocalizations. I think that what I wrote ended up being something that communicated very clearly how it was supposed to sound. So they got it. And if Chris wanted something to go a little different sound-wise or whatever, that's his call because he's the director. So luckily I wrote something that was generic enough and specific enough to let both of those things happen, which was a challenge. But I did it. It worked.
Hex game chesk Bexate's rave. Roll clashy botch.
Strangely enough, it sounds exactly the way I sounded, like it sounded in my head. Exactly. And I guess that's just an example of great teamwork, but it really does sounds better than I think I imagined it sounding, but definitely along the same lines of what I wanted it to sound.
Iotros te rorogum zatzor. Ikleb plem. Ikleb brisme.
I guess I would say thank you, first of all, to Christopher Bevins for making me look like I know what I was doing or knew what I was doing. I still have no idea what I'm doing. And to the actors and everything for embracing it and being so excited about it. That was really exciting. And also to the fans, they're always so supportive. And especially, the ones that follow my writing have always they make me feel very good about myself. So thank you to them for continuing to be so supportive and wonderful. And I hope that they love the show because I do. Beyond the language and everything, I just think the show is fantastic. So enjoy it, love it, and buy more of it. And then learn the language. Figure out what I substituted and then speak that to each other. And then come up to me and speak in that language and I'll have no idea what you're talking about. It'll be great.
Razuf. Satan klibaichiwik bram.